This is War Map. It takes a naval armada to capture a tanker. After weeks of hunting, United States boarded and seized Russian tanker Mariner. Video of the seizure was published online. The tanker, originally named Bella 1, which escaped from American pursuit in the Caribbean Sea. More than 2 weeks have passed since the attempted detention, when the crew painted the Russian flag and did not allow themselves to be stopped, and the Americans, it seems, are not going to stop. After the incident with the American fleet, the vessel changed its name to Mariner and registered in Russia. Before that, the tanker had been sailing under the flag of Panama or Guyana. At the beginning of 2026, the vessel was moving in a northeastern direction with its transponder turned off, and it seemed that the pursuit was over. However, on January 2nd, an American anti-submarine aircraft P-8A of the U.S. Navy flew to patrol the area west of the Azores Islands from the airbase Rota in Spain. On January 3rd, the Mariner was spotted even further north, and another P-8A flew to its area from the UK. The peak of such close attention from the U.S. Navy to one tanker was yesterday, when 3 P-8As, 2 took off from the UK, 1 from the Keflavik Air Base in Iceland, were on duty in the area southwest of the Faroe Islands. Such attention to one tanker from the U.S. Navy is very suspicious. The American command even reinforced the air component for almost round-the-clock surveillance of the Russian ship, despite a diplomatic note from the Russian Foreign Ministry demanding an end to the pursuit. Why do the Americans need this? It's hard to say for now. But in the last 2 days, 3 fire support aircraft AC-130J, several CV-22B converted planes, and MH-47G helicopters from the 161st Air Regiment of the Special Operations Forces have been transferred to Britain. This regiment was involved in the recent operation to capture Nicolas Maduro. Of course, this could be due to some kind of exercise, but no statements have been made yet. The war against the Russian Shadow Fleet is in full swing. Recently, a tanker was captured in the Gulf of Finland by the special forces of the Finnish Armed Forces, and the Mariner is now approaching quite dangerous waters between Iceland, Great Britain, and Norway, where NATO ships and units are everywhere. On January 7th, the story of Mariner has reached its conclusion. Americans carried out the seizure of the vessel in the North Atlantic, landing a landing group on board from a helicopter. According to the latest data, Mariner has been arrested. Over the past few days, the Americans have established round-the-clock surveillance of the tanker's movement using P-8A aircraft from Keflavik Air Base, Iceland, and Mildenhall, UK. At least 3 P-8A flights were noted daily. In addition, yesterday a British RC-135W was noted in the area of the tanker's movement. And the day before, French Atlantique II and Irish C-295 were used for patrolling. An RC-135W was sent to the area of the tanker's location from the UK, and a reconnaissance aircraft Shadow R-1 was also sent from the UK overnight. At noon Moscow time, another P-8A of the British Air Force and a reconnaissance aircraft Shadow R-1 were sent from the UK. Around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, an American helicopter landing group began a landing operation to seize the ship. Also from the UK, 2 C-130J, 3 special U-28A aircraft of the U.S. Special Operations Command, and another P-8A of the U.S. Navy and a British transport aircraft A-400 were sent. At the moment, a truly huge number of various types of aircraft, ranging from reconnaissance to special forces aircraft, are observed in the area between Iceland, the Faroe Islands, and the UK. The seizure of the ship has already been confirmed by the U.S. European Command. Moreover, the fact that such a large number of resources were involved in the capture of the tanker suggests that there was very little chance of getting out of this situation unscathed. There were leaks in the media that at the moment of the seizure of the ship, there were ships and a submarine of the Russian Navy in the area, which allegedly did nothing. In reality, Russian fleet did not manage to come to the rescue for about a day. Despite the fact that the tanker, through the company of the ship owner, is associated with Iran and was supposed to load Venezuelan oil for it, the decision to change the flag to Russian has put Russia in an extremely uncomfortable position, because it turned out that the Russian tanker was actually seized on a far-fetched pretext, and this already sets a precedent for further operations against the entire so-called Shadow Fleet of Russia, not only in the Atlantic, but also in other regions of the world. Against the backdrop of the epic with the tanker Mariner, Bella 1, the seizure of another vessel went unnoticed. The U.S. Southern Command reported that as a result of a special operation of the armed forces, they seized the sanctioned tanker Sophia in the Caribbean Sea. The seized vessel was operating in international waters and was engaged in illegal activities in the Caribbean Sea. The U.S. Coast Guard is escorting the tanker Sophia to the USA for final disposal, the command noted in a statement. At the time of the seizure, it was flying the Cameroonian flag in order to, supposedly, hide from persecution. Some media report that it belongs to the Russian Shadow Fleet, just like Mariner. The tanker has been on the U.S. sanctions list since October 2025. According to CBS News, the vessel set off from Venezuela with oil on board, thereby violating the American embargo. By the way, this time the crew did not put up any resistance. Together with Sophia and Mariner, the number of intercepted oil tankers during the Southern Spear operation has reached 4. Until next update.